Hello, another deck profile. After much, much time and effort being put into the Synchron deck, I finally made a deck that I liked. So I'm just digging around and see what I can cook up. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you are, I think I don't think I should have been cooking, man. I really don't think. But I ended up cooking something. So, what do you see before you is a budget Iris Burning Abyss PK Paleo deck, or PIPK Fire, as I like to shorten it, because saying Paleo, Iris, Phantom Knight, BA, little too long for me. It's also, it also brings homage to the OG deck, PK Fire, which is a great name, by the way. So, what's the point of this deck? Actually, you know what? Before that, I'll just list off the cards, just in case if you wanted to just get the profile with just the cards. It's also in the description. All right. 3 Iris Swordsoul, 3 Incredible Ecclesia, 1 Seer, 1 Alich, 1 Graff, 3 Tour Guide, 1 Scarm, 1 Ancient Cloak, 3 Torn Scales, 2 Silent Boots, 3 Canadia, 3 Dinomischus, 3 Marrella, 3 Olenoides, 3 Lost Wind, 3 Titanocider, and 3 Fogblade. Then extra deck, Black Rose, FA Dawn Dragster. This could be anything. Redoer, Nightmare, Rhapsody Berserk, Phantom Knights of Breaksword, Dante, Anomalocaris, two Opabinia, Nightmare Unicorn, Rusty Bardiche, Nightmare Phoenix, Cerberus, and then Cherubini. Alright, now, what's the theory behind this deck? The theory is, first, I wanted to make an Iris Swordsoul deck. A deck revolving around Iris Swordsoul. Because I think the card's really neat. Like, you probably don't even know what this card does. You can read. I'm not going to explain this. No. The point is, in summary, I want to negate monsters or have monsters negated, special summon this thing, and then just play control and just see what happens. My first instinct was to play Veiler, Moonlit Chill, and Imperm, which just makes sense. But I wanted the deck to be under $30, which obviously I failed by a little bit. It's not the worst, like $2 could be worse. But I thought to myself, if I'm playing with those cards, how am I controlling? And like, yes, I can interrupt my opponent, but for how long? So, plus, like, if you're playing hand traps, most of the time nowadays, you need multiple hand traps to do anything against anybody, unless their hand is bad or that their deck is bad, and that's not really an issue generally then. So, I thought to myself, what could I play? What is an archetype that I can just fit in Iris Sorcerer? Obviously, when maybe not obviously, but back when Iris Swordsoul came out, people tried the card in Altergeist. I tried it myself, and I thought it was balls. So I ended up on this deck list, which is probably more balls to be fair. But I mean, that's besides the point. So my instinct is to go to Paleos because trap cards are fun, and Paleos is probably my favorite trap deck. I also thought of the Lost Wind and Titanocider because they're also very fun cards. I love Titanocider, just not as good as Lost Wind, but what can you do? And like trap cards, more trap cards. Okay, cool. But I still want like something to do, you know? Because I'm not playing hand traps because we can't afford them. So what do we do with the rest of the slots? I'm like, oh, you know what engine is very consistent? Uh, and ends up with one, at least one, most likely two, occasionally three effect negations. PK Fire. PK. Right? So you go summon two level threes, make Cherubinis, use Cherubini's effect, summon send Graff, special summon, whatever, make Bardiche, and you right there, you send with Bardiche, sending usually Silent Boots. That's one Fogblade. Banish Silent Boots, that's another Fogblade. That's two Fogblades. Everyone knows this back from like 2018, 19, right? If you're familiar with like PK Orcus. So I'm like, that sounds pretty fun. and I tried it. It's actually like kind of decent for given no side deck and $32 approximately. It's pretty solid. Plus, I'm playing like staples, right? Like, okay, maybe not that many staples, but some of these cards are usable in other decks, right? Because I'm mixing four decks together, four-ish decks together. It, it just works. All right, now let me explain. Let me explain some of the theory. So, okay, Iris Swordsoul, and I'm counting Lost Wind and Ecclesia as a part of the quote-unquote Iris Swordsoul package, right? The Iris Swordsoul engine. The point is to just get Iris Swordsoul out by negating something or having a negated monster, and you just vibe. Draw two cards, sure, with good effect. Pop an extra deck monster, most of the time very solid, and then the special summon from a hand is the worst one, but it's fine. It actually can come up to be like okay too, which is why we're playing the one Alich. So right, if you have Iris Swordsoul, they special summon your opponent special summons a monster from your hand, and then you chain the Iris Swordsoul's effect. You special summon Alich. Alich special summons itself. It dies because it sees Iris Swordsoul, and then you use its effect in the graveyard to negate an effect on the board. Interruption, not bad, not great, but not bad, right? So that's how you play with the Burning Abyss engine. It does, and it plays well with the Paleo by one, you're drawing cards, or it's just interruption, right? But it could also, you're playing Lost Wind Titanocider, which are traps for the Paleos. Neat. PK, sometimes you can use Iris Swordsoul, special summon a PK to extend. Doesn't really happen that often, admittedly, but it can. And a part of that is Ecclesia, which special summons out swords the Iris Swordsoul. But it's also just a randomly a tuner because why not? So you can make Black Rose and FA Don Dragster or whatever seven you wish to play. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't come up, but it can, right? So then we talk about BA. BA goes as I explained with this, cards. BAs also give an extra advantage loop with Seer Dante. It mills so it can mill out the Lost Winds, Titanociders, and Paleos, and you mill like what do they go PKs, and everyone knows the synergy between PK and BA. Like PK fires have been in a deck for a while now. I don't need to explain that. I don't think. Okay, now talking about PK again, go well with. No, all right, well is a relative term here. I'm being a little bit generous with the term, but it's fun, right? It goes well with the Iris Orso for the because it presents something. It presents two Fog Blades whenever you get the combo off, if you get it off, right? You also that's it. You get two Fog Blades, which helps with the traps, the Paleozoics. It also helps with just general flexibility. You don't have to go into the Cherubini line. Sometimes you just make Cherub. Sometimes you just go like Dante with Sword Soul, and then you just vibe. Sometimes you can go into what is it? Break Sword, pop some shit, go into a four. Not bad. No, yeah, flexibility here. Now, another thing I want to mention, actually, part of the BA package, Tour Guide special summons from deck, and it negates the monster's effect, which is why why BA no die, right? Because it doesn't matter if the monster's effect is negated in whichever way. It doesn't matter as long as there is a monster on the field that has its effect negated. You can special summon Iris Sword Soul. So worst comes to worst, you can always pivot from the Cherubini line, or you can choose the Cherubini line. The what the fuck, the Cherubini line, or you can go to Dante, special summon normal summon Tour Guide, special summon whatever, special summon Sword Soul from hand, go into Dante, and then vibe. It's a choice. It's not like a great choice. It's not a great pivot because you're pivoting at the beginning of the combo, which is not a pivot. But it's an idea, This deck's $30. What do you expect? And it's for it's for fun. It's enjoyable. It's non-meta. have some fun with it, right? Then Paleozoics, as mentioned before, gets milled off with BAs. It uh, you can make anomaly Opabinia, Anomalocaris for the grind game to help with the Sword Soul. It helps with the PK stuff. How? I don't know. uh, they're on grind. That's it. And then that's more or less the theory of the main deck. Extra deck, Cherubini, you need it because that's kind of the whole point. You go two level threes, Cherubini, send Graff. Again, I mentioned this. Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn, Flex, Rusty Bardiche, part of the combo, right? You go Cherubini, go into Rusty Bardiche, normal stuff. Two Opabinia, one Anomalocaris. Why? You're playing Paleozoics. Why would you not, right? Dante, you're playing PAs. Seer Dante Loop, not bad. Break Sword, good card. Uh, dude, a part of me wanted to play Zen mains because I'm old. Not really, but you know, I'm a little old. But I couldn't justify it. And then Break Sword flex into Rhapsody, Evil Sword Nightmare, and Thief Redoer, whichever one you want after you use the Break Sword. It's a flex. You could also play Exiton if you own that card, but for budget reasons, it's like $2. Yeah, but you know, $2 can matter. It can. I'm already over budget. I wanted to be under 30 to be honest, but whatever. Evid on Dragster, this could be anything. It it probably is better just to not play Don Dragster, you play something else. But whatever, it's cute, I guess. Plus it pierces, which can be relevant in time maybe if you're playing this in a tournament, which good luck. And Black Rose being Black Rose is actually good in this deck. Can be at least, depending on the situation. Obviously, if you have four back row and you summon a Black Rose, it's a play. It is what it is. Now, I don't have a side deck here because it does count towards the price. However, there are matchups where they just don't special summon from the extra deck, and they just don't special summon. Period. So in this case, like uh, Lab doesn't. The ritual deck with low voiceless voice doesn't, right? And this flues don't special summon. So if you wanted to, you can swap these for different traps. IDP, that's a good one for the side deck rather. And Daruma Cannon, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Daruma Cannon. This card's expensive, right? It's $4. If you happen to have it, it's a staple at the moment. It's also a very good card. So if you wanted to play it instead in the side deck or just in the main deck, whatever, you could. If you have rollback, that card is money though, so I didn't include it. There's options, torrential tribute even. You know, there's a lot of things. I only play these because they recur themselves, and I like that. It's fun. All right. I don't think there's anything else to say really. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, you're probably having questions. I can't answer those. Probably. I mean, not at the moment, obviously. But I mean, if you have any questions, feel free to just ask. I'll try to I'll respond eventually. And that's it. Have a good one. I'll let you go. Peace.